Kablam! That's the sound. That's the sound of the stream starting. I don't have my blue lights. I don't have my blue lights behind me today, and it feels weird and it looks weird as I look at the monitor. I've grown so used to having my background lighting. We didn't have it for a long, long time. It's actually relatively new, and I've grown accustomed to it so quickly. But those lights are out in my game room right now, because that's where I was taking those photos earlier. For those of you who follow me on Instagram or check the showcase on my Discord, please praise me. View my pictures and praise me. That's what Desert Owl's doing, dropping that sub on that streak. Short stream tonight. I hope your life settled down. It has somewhat. I really worked my ass off to get that terrain done yesterday, which is, I'm going to be moving a bunch of this crap off my desk here in a minute. It actually came out really nice. I was kind of, once I got into a groove and figured out, okay, I need to do this step, this step, this step, this step, it was just bam, 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 we got right through it, and I got all that painted. I'm going to be doing some more to finish fleshing out my table from that set, because I did a bunch of prototypes, and I have this thing that happens. Project Dark Fox, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the resub. Indeed. PDF, you take it easy, man. Hopefully you're doing a little bit of painting tonight, too. I'm not going to waste too much time on this scene, because I want to do some speed paints, and we only have about an hour and a half tonight. But, what was I saying? Yeah, so this thing happens to me, and those of you who do 3D modeling, sculpting, printing are probably familiar with this phenomenon, where I work on something, and I figure out the changes that I want to make to it as I'm prototyping, because I'll be like, this is a good idea, let's print this and see what it's like, and I print it, and it's complete, and I'm like, this is okay. It could be better, like, there's a little change, I need to add this thing, I didn't anticipate this, okay, let's make a change. And then I print out the next one, and it's a little bit better, and then I'm like, maybe a little bit more of a change. Let's go ahead and do some more. And at the end of this process, what I have are like a bunch of prints of things that aren't up to the quality of the final product. But I don't want to throw them away, because they're perfectly good. They're just not quite as good as they could be, you know? That's that entire set that you see in those pictures. It's not as good as the final set. It has little features that I added later just aren't present. And so I'm gonna need to print some more for myself. It's like when you do batch painting, or, you know, like, the first one kind of looks like shit, and by the time you get to the end, or if you're, like, this happened a lot when I was doing commission painting, where I do a lot of one model for people, and I'll paint my own first. I'll be like, oh, this is really cool, and they'll be like, oh, paint one like that for me, and I'm like, sure, and I paint theirs, and it's fucking better than mine. That's really why I stopped commission painting. Hamburg Tack, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gift subs. My friend, Goblin Welder, Valfera, and Gear Falcon. I couldn't think of 3 finer people to be enjoying the wonders of not watching fucking commercials on Twitch. Penny's at the head. Oh no. That's pennies deflecting off my or me dodging pennies like Agent Smith in The Matrix. Yeah, let's imagine it's that. Let's imagine it's that. Of course, I always acknowledge. When have I ever not acknowledged a gift sub? When has that ever happened? Unless it's one of those crappy Prime subs. I fucking hate people. Oh, hey, Nanotanks, how you doing? What's up, buddy? Hey, thank you so much for the sub. What's up? How you doing? Nanotanks, thank you so much for your support, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you for always posting. I always love seeing your work. Rhino, I'll watch Farscape with you, dude. It's been a long time. It has been a long time since I've watched Farscape. I'm not like a huge fan of the last few seasons, but I do enjoy Scorpius as Harvey. Very much so. When did that... What are you talking about, Dwegham? Are you... Because we changed overlays and we didn't get to see each and every one of them go by on the alert box? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Dwegham. I didn't mean to cut you short on that one, buddy. I did not mean to. Well, I did that because, first of all, Dr. Rhino, I'm aware that I did that. And secondly, I did it because, and chat, maybe we could address this together. Is it just me, or is Dr. Rhino maybe getting just a little too big for his britches? I mean, he's got some big britches, but just a little too big for him. A little too big. They should be Shiny Mew. They certainly should be. If you felt like testing it, please go right ahead. I don't know if he's too big for his britches. His britches are too small, but
when watching Thunderhead stream,
there it is.
You may feel the urge to do the cha-cha, because he likes to slide it to the left, and then slide it to the right, and then hold it off screen entirely. Come on, Thunderhead, put it back on camera.
For someone so very, very put out by my conduct, you certainly seem willing to go on a witch hunt immediately, Dwegom. Alright, let me get... I got some tea here. Ah, Shiny Mew, thank you for the reminder. I always gotta correct this. Alright, let's go ahead and get started, because we're just kind of fucking around today. Yeah. Let's go. Ain't doing nothing too crazy tonight. Just getting some enforcers painted. I'm gonna play around a little bit today. I've been using my Dr. P.H. Martin Spectralights a little bit more lately, and I'm going to try mixing these with the AP Speed Paints and see what happens. Because I don't have my mega set yet of the Speed Paints, but the purple I want to do is not quite the purple that the Speed Paint has, so I'm going to try mixing the purple Speed Paint with some of my Dr. P.H. Martin's magenta and see how that comes out. I think they'll mix well because the P.H. Martins are really, really transparent. Oh yeah, I probably am a little zoomed in. I mean, I'm always a little zoomed in. A little. Absolutely Shiny Mew. Earl Grey, hot. Do I have the GW contrast medium? I do not. And that's something that is also in the mega set for the AP Speed Paints, is they have their Speed Paint medium. If I had that with me, I would just try combining the two. I don't. So we're gonna jank it. We're going to jank it a little bit. We're going to see how it works.
There's something about mech paint jobs that really just brings a tear to my eye, and sometimes a tightness to my pants. This stream has a lot of the latter.
How the hell did I get Chaotic Harmony to record all this bullshit for me? It seems so long ago now. Oh, Rhino. Why's it got to get personal like that, buddy?
You know, I suppose you could just go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere. It's not like we're trying to get inside the lines or anything.
That's what we're doing today. We're gonna glorb. We're gonna glorb with style. I have a whole series of my little Mantic Enforcers here, and I don't care that much about these models. These aren't my main faction, but I do like the idea of doing them as the Lexosquad in the like Lex Luthor colors. So we're gonna be fooling with that today and see what we can come out with.
I know you're really focused,
the technology of
your
peace.
Camera
well,
is not.
I'm focused on the desk. I haven't refocused to here yet. And unfortunately, because of my depth of field, I do have to do that manually. Unfortunately. A Thursday stream, more of these. So we try to always do Thursday streams, Dino Man Matt, but the last few weeks have been kind of cursed for Thursdays, unfortunately. Much better. Thank you, Aziz. We've watched The Fifth Element for one of our movie nights, haven't we? Mega City 1 Justice Department. The problem with that, Roland, is that the colors are boring. That would just be black and red. Which, the black and red can be cool, but I'm looking for something a little bit more vibrant for these guys. So we're going Lexosquad. We're going... No, that's not what I Am the Decider means. You didn't read the text, Roland. Yeah, Luc Besson really knocked it out of the park with, Have you ever looked at the matte paintings? Dr. Rhino, have you ever looked at the matte paintings from, Buoy? Oh my god. 5 minutes ago I missed Crossbow Roof's resub. Did I really? Crossbow Roof, thank you so much for the resub, my friend. Welcome in, and thank you for your support. Have you ever looked at the matte paintings in The Fifth Element? There's an amazing one when the shuttle takes off into space to go to what's the vacation planet? I can't remember the name of it now. They win the Gemini Croquet contest to go to Floston Paradise. How could I forget? But the scene when the shuttle takes off, it zooms out and you see the shuttle go, and it's a matte painting of New York. And it is fucking amazing. Ryza, yes, Cookie Mama, basically. I think Ryza might be a little bit more hedonistic than Floston Paradise. I don't remember Floston Paradise having statues you can buy that were just like, come have sex with me. But you can find the matte painting online. You see it in the movie for like a second, and it's gone. And it is so detailed. You can see the water line has dropped like so much because you can see like the boroughs of New York way, way up on these bluffs, which represents a fundamental misunderstanding of the geography of the ocean surrounding New York, but it doesn't matter. It's fantasy. And you can see like the bridges suspended way up in the air, and the Statue of Liberty is way up in the air, and there's all the cities built down along where the bay used to be. It's so cool, and it's so detailed. And you see it for a few seconds, and you're entirely focused on the CG shuttle taking off. It's just amazing that they put that much work into something that you, like, almost nobody noticed. And I say almost nobody because I've watched that movie I don't know how many times, and I only noticed it on my most recent watch through. I was like, wait a second, let me go back and pause that and just examine this scene for a minute. And it's really detailed. I have no fire, I have no matches, I'm trying to quit smoking. If I knew, Father, you smoke? Oh man, that shit's amazing. Alright. Where's my purple? I'm gonna set these up here. I'm gonna use the Gravelord Gray. Probably use some of the Crusader skin. Hardened leather, yes. Probably not blood red. High Lord Blue. Hive Dweller
Purple.
Purple.
The fox, you're gonna get stuffed in a box.
Hive Dweller Purple is what I have to work with here, and we're gonna try mixing that with something to see what comes out the other end. So why don't we just go ahead and give that a quick shot. Actually, let's just start with one test model, right? We'll do the Gravelord Gray first, because that's to go on some of the deepest parts.
$99 bottles of paint on the wall, 99 bottles of paint. Take one down, shake it around. 150 bottles of paint on the wall.
Yeah, that checks out. Ah, go ahead and paint. Go ahead and paint, Pity. Ain't no thing. Kursala and Data Nerd will likely be along at some point. We're not going for too late tonight anyhow. Oh, Rhino trying to slip in there. I'm not as stupid as I look, Rhino. And I'm still just going to use this crummy little brush that Army Painter put in their starter box for the Speedpaints, because I can't think of a good reason not to. What I'm doing doesn't require me to be that careful. Shiny Mew Paints, this is just the Army Painter Wargamer Monster Brush. This is the brush that they include in the starter set for the AP Speed Paints. And I just can't think of a good reason not to use it for this. It's not like a great brush, but it's perfectly serviceable for applying speed paints, which I guess is the idea. I'm just doing the parts that I imagine are like a soft body glove. And the weapons, because I'm not going to do anything crazy with the weapons. Enforcers, the Council's elite. That's why we're going with... Somebody suggested, I was asking for colors, Deadzone. And by the way, Deadzone podcast, you are Deadzone the podcast on Facebook, right? I should actually try listening to your podcast. You should post a link. But, you know, I figured they're corporate goons, right? So why don't we bring him over into the DC universe and pretend that LexCorp somehow survived into the far future. And then we got the Lexosquad. Awesome. Dude, feel free. Please feel free to post a link to your podcast right here in chat. I will make an exception. Grabbed a bunch of random minis, one of the Battletech maps, played with the rules he made up on the spot. Hey, that works. That works. Greetings all from the coolest game store on Blanco Road. You can do so much better than that, Nightwatch Games. That's so underselling it. The best on Blanco Road. Oh my god, that's so incredibly... You just narrowed it right down, didn't you? The best game shop within 30 feet of where I am right now. Come on, you can do better than that. It's easily one of the best in San Antonio. Okay, now in fairness, I haven't been there for a few years now. Maybe somebody popped up in the interim that's really that good. But in the time that I was there, I would classify Night's Watch as one of, if not the best, in San Antonio. There are older, there were more established, but none of them quite had that pizzazz, you know what I mean? Tried a humble pill for lunch. You might have had too many. Check the dosage on those, huh? Awesome. Thanks for posting that, Deadzone. So you played Calvin Mech. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Calvin Laz. Oh, God. Alright, let's take some of this Hive Dweller purple. And I'm going to give it a touch of flow aid, because this is kind of what I want to do, is experiment with the speed paints and mixing them and see if we can't get some more utility out of them. Alright, that's got a little bit more red in it now. Let's see how it goes down. A part that I know I definitely want to do in this color. Yeah, that's a lot more like what I was thinking than just the Hive Dweller purple. It gives it a little bit more vibrancy, you see that? And as long as the speed paint helps to sort of control its flow. Yeah, it's possible just mixing the red in, but I'm specifically curious about using my spectralights just because I have them already and I'd like to kind of use them for more of this style of painting. We'll experiment more with mixing the different speed paints together to see what we get out of it, because like I got a really nice orange by layering the yellow with their orange. I think that taking the speed paint medium and putting just a few drops of these spectralights in the medium itself would yield pretty good results too, but I don't have the medium yet. Oh, this color scheme is going to be obnoxious. I love it. Yeah, I needed that magenta purple. I needed more of a red purple. I think Lex Luthor, and it's always a really obnoxious purple and green because he's, you know, Lex Luthor. Works good on standard acrylics as well. When I get the mega set in that has the rest of the colors and the medium, like, I intend to be experimenting with these speed paints for a while to see kind of how far we can push it. There are worse things to fail at, Cookie Mama, to be fair. Yeah, something I'm going to start doing next week is a lot of the time during the week I find myself, because I've just become, you know, much more comfortable with streaming when I'm doing kind of whatever. But I very much stick to a schedule for my Twitch streams, you might have noticed. I don't always make every single stream, but I do try to stick to a schedule for when I'm going on. But I'm going to do some more just random streams on the Discord. Hamburg, thank you for the reminder. I'm going to try to do some more just random streams on the Discord when I'm working on, like, 3D stuff. And when I'm doing that, I'm almost always watching something while I work. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, Star Trek The Next Generation, you know, whatever. I'm watching something. And I'm just going to try to stream both screens. So if you guys want to hang out sometime when I'm just, you know, watching something and working, you see me live on the Discord, I'll have, like, TNG and ZBrush going. Now let's try a little green. Try some of our orc skin. I don't think I've used the orc skin right out of the bottle yet. It's one of the first things I mixed. Ooh, a touch more of this purple on the edges of our feet here. It needs one more spot of this. These models have been horribly abused, too. I've had these enforcers for a few years, and I've painted them like 3 times. Just part of the reason I feel comfortable experimenting on them is because I've cut their feet and reposed them, and I have abused these figures. But they make good testers. I'm not really in love with the enforcers as a faction that I really want to play in, like, Firefight, so I'm cool with fooling around with them for Deadzone. Personally, I'm a fan of, like, I have fallen in love with the way oil paints are named, Nightwatch, which is to say, it's just the name of the fucking pigment that's in it. That's my favorite naming scheme, is tell me what pigment is in the paint that I'm putting down. When you've got, like, Scale 75 and Reaper and everything in front of you, it gets so confusing so fast. I'd rather just know which pigment is going into the paint, you know? The orc skin seems more opaque than I was expecting, but I guess I gotta give it a chance to settle. No love for Crimson Chungus tint coat? Yeah, right? Oh my god. Sphinx. I should have a button for that. What was his name when he was pretending to be a converted Christian? Holy Diver? God, this is like the gaudiest, most hideous paint scheme, and I love it. I love it. I don't remember who gave me this idea. It was somebody in chat, but I am totally on board. I think we could probably refine it somewhat. But as far as being relatively simple and being recognizable and being based on, you know, one of my favorite DC characters, I'm into it. I'm looking forward to seeing what you've been working on then, Shiny Mew. Yeah, the green is... I don't know if it's exactly what I want. I'm gonna try something. But I mean, you know, Lex Luthor and Joker have very similar paint schemes anyway. I'm gonna try putting just a little bit of phthalo green ink into my green here. And we're gonna see how that looks. Pull it slightly more into an emerald. That can definitely work. That varies, I find. I'm going with some of the color schemes from, like, his Lexosquad troopers rather than his actual Lexo suit. But again, that varies. Sometimes he'll have the purple chevron on his chest. He'll almost always have the glowing yellow, like, Iron Man thing on his chest. But sometimes he'll have a purple chevron, sometimes it'll be green. It varies. Like the shoulders are almost always green. I think I might like this green just a little bit better. It is slightly more emerald.
I know you're really focused, Thunderhead, but your camera is not.
Is it that bad? Thought it was. Just a touch of it, though. Bring a little bit more of the orc skin back in. You can actually vary the color of this pretty subtly by just adding a little bit of an acrylic ink into your speed paints. And my curiosity was, would that cause them to then dry kind of glossy like the ink? And so far, no. It seems like it still dries kind of nice and matte. Do some more purple on the arms. Probably purple for their little jump jet dealies. Hey, that works, sewer creature. How you doing, Warwolf? Good to see you. Original for the Lex armor is pretty simplified with magenta hands and forearms, boots and feet. And again, it changes depending on the iteration. If I were tasked to write and direct a movie, but you pick one, I would do the other. You have to accept the result of my work with zero input on the actions. What do you choose? Write and direct a movie. Hold on. You have to clarify that question for me, Dr. Rhino. I'm not getting the precise, like, order of operations things would be going in. You would write a movie, and then I would have to direct that movie based on your writing? Because, I mean, I'm open to it. Alright, we can do a little bit more purple now. I write, he directs, or he writes and I direct. Oh, which of those would I prefer? Okay, thank you for making some sense of that for me. What's up, Jack? How you doing, man? I think I'd like to write and have you direct. And that's mostly just because that way, when the whole project inevitably fucking flops, I can just blame you for it. And I can pretend like if I had been allowed to direct it, then it would have been amazing. We also call that pulling a David S. Goyer. That's not entirely fair. I'm going to make some changes to how I do the next one, but this is a good sort of trial run for this paint scheme, I think. Built some more Forge Fathers today, been messing around with Firefight lists. I'm excited to play some Firefight, I really am. I'm going to have to get my ass down to where you be, though, you know. You're getting married here pretty soon, ain't you, Jack? You could have a bachelor party that consists entirely of tabletop games. It's possible. Put me in the credits as Alan Smithy. You know, it wasn't until recently that I learned about the Alan Smithy thing. Which is kind of, like, a little bit shocking that I didn't know it before. It had to be explained to me. Dr. Rhino, you can do whatever the hell you want at a bachelor party. I've seen very bad things. Hosting a wedding within Night Watch games, the bride's party are vampires, the groom and his men are witch hunters, officiating in Lord Reverend Mulcrew. See, and this is why. I'm gonna tell you right now, Porik, this is why Night's Watch really stands apart from the other offerings down there. Is that you and yours are huge fucking nerds. And it's not that the people who run other game stores in town aren't also nerds, but they're a very different style of nerd. They're a much more reserved sort of nerd. They're not as out there with their dorkery. They're not chasing a dream as much as they're running a business, but you guys were always chasing a dream, and it showed every step of the way. Professional nerd. These days, yeah, I would say so. Oh, yes, yeah, Alan Smithy is, if you see Alan Smithy as the name in, like, a film production, it's because whoever that person was didn't want their name associated with the project. So they use Alan Smithy as a stand-in name for anybody who wants to do that. It's also sometimes used as a joke. But the first one came first.
You know, I suppose you could just go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere. It's not like we're trying to get inside the lines or anything.
I can and I will, and Dr. Rhino, there ain't nothing wrong with that, man, because you did a damn good job on that Mini. It looks pretty fucking phenomenal, and you should be proud of it. Not just proud of it, but excited by it. Dr. Rhino over there been painting some of the Old Dominion for Conquest: The Last Argument of Kings, doing his non-metallic metal oils, and dude, they're coming together so well. I told you, man, it makes it a lot easier to kind of learn the ins and outs of NMM when you've got something that makes blending that smooth and that easy. Wish I had some cool game stores near me. Yeah, honestly, San Antonio, Texas has one of the better, like, game store communities of any city that I have ever lived in. I was kind of shocked. A lot of really good stores, a lot of great community organizers, a surprising variety of games, not just 40K, being played on the regular. And, yeah, Night's Watch. Well, that's the thing. When Night's Watch started up, they actually had a decent amount of competition as far as there just being other stores for people to choose. They really had to do something to set themselves apart, and they did a fucking great job at it. I'm going to wind up doing some more highlighting on these guys, or toning down the green a little bit, because he came out a little bit flat, but that's okay. I think maybe if I just add a little bit more flow improver to both the green and the purple, it should come out okay. Either way, I think the overall scheme is perfectly sound. This guy's kind of two-toned. You can see he's more flat green at the bottom and a little bit more emerald at the top because I changed halfway through, but that's okay. I'll take a little bit of my phthalo green and work it down into the thighs. That, and I have to note that these particular enforcers are kind of low detail just because they have like 3 layers of paint on them, which does not help the flow of the speed paints. But hey, there's a starter. Let's try another one and see if we can't do it a little bit different. Damn, he pops on the at average viewing distance though. He's just like kablam. We are doing acrylics today, Valfera. How you doing? Alright, let's try another one. Getting more and more disenchanted with Conquest lately. I think it's probably, like, because you've been kind of immersing yourself in it, Jack. I would say give it a little bit of a break. You know, come back to it maybe a wee little bit later. There ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm gonna put a drop of Flow Aid in here just to tweak my green a bit. Mix in more of that phthalo. Let's see what we come out the other end with. Yeah, I think this is the green. But just give it a little break, you know? I could definitely understand that. I feel like Conquest is still in need of more rules revision before it's gonna be perfect. I mean, no game is ever perfect, but it's better than most. You can definitely bloat yourself with the rules pretty bad if you're not careful, which is why when I'm list building for it, I try to avoid putting too many heirlooms or special rules on anything. I definitely did that on purpose, Zosimus. Absolutely. 100% planned. And I will hear no argument attempting to disprove such a thing. Thunderhead stud. You think that's crazy? You should hear my stud fee. It's a lot more than a subscription, I'll tell you that. Yeah, I'm liking this green, just ever so slightly modified. Just a little bit of that phthalo green goes a long way. And then thinned with a little bit of Flow Aid. Not a lot, just a touch. You really don't need more than a drop or so. The speed paints are fantastic on their own, but they thrive on deep details and heavily textured models. So if you've got kind of soft details, it can help to add just a little bit of flow aid or thin it ever so slightly. Acrylics 2 streams in a row? Valfera, we do all kinds of shit here, man. We'll be back to oils, don't you worry. I can tell you're worrying, but I encourage you not to. Quick and easy, fast and sloppy.
Here at Thunderhead Studios, it's okay to be sloppy. Bonus points if it's white paint.
Well, if you stick around through that, I guess that's a good sign. Well, you know, pull up a chair, Zoss. We're happy to have you, brother. We're not going to be on for, like, super late tonight or anything, because I got to go do some shiz, but we are on regularly, and we do try to keep the painting accessible and entertaining. Wait, hold up, I missed something. I wanna catch up on chat here. Wait, Dwegcom, who are you talking about? Wait, hold on. There it is. There it is. One person who's big into it plays like a dick. Oh, just became a vanguard despite having no painted armies, no demo armies, no events run. I feel like that can happen just because they're really pushing the Vanguard program right now. I would let them know if that's the case. That's unfortunate. I would think that they're unaware of those facts at Parabellum if he's getting away with that, and you may try just notifying them, because that will have exactly the effect that it's had on you, which is to push people away from the game, which they obviously don't want out of their Vanguard program. Firestarter, that is a lot. That is a lot. How you doing today, Firestarter? It's always good to see you, bro. How much do I hope the Warzone Eternal Kickstarter is going to get fun? Dude, yes. That's the Mutant Chronicles one, right? I'm going to push awareness of that as much as I am able once it gets going. Because, yeah, Mutant Chronicles is cool as hell, and it's one of those cursed properties that's, like, never quite gotten off the ground in the way that I wish it would. So I definitely want to support that.
If you don't respect the cat, you're gonna get the bap.
Oh man. Oh man, Riot Sister.
Hello there.
How we doing today? And SP Firestarter, thank you so much for your support, and thank you more than anything for hanging out with us as much as you do, man. I hope you're having a good day. You don't need to worry, Project Dark Fox. Like, I appreciate your devotion to making sure that this stream has a mod. But relax, man. It's okay. It's okay. You should have been painting the whole time. I should have done this step first, but I didn't, so I'm doing it now. Hey, just take a break and do something else for a little while, though, Jack. I mean, we got We got Firefight coming up, you got Forge Fathers to work on, Conquest will be there. That's the thing, like, with some games, I understand the feeling where it's like, man, I gotta push this, because if I'm not pushing it, nobody's gonna. Particularly with new games, but Conquest has a solid footing. It's not gonna disappear. As a surprisingly solid footing, right, sister? Is it starting that soon? I have it set up so it's going to alert me when it happens, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and post more about that once it gets going. Because Mutant Chronicles, again, is just, it's such a great IP, and it's like, it so many times throughout history, it starts to get off the ground and then something happens. And it just doesn't quite get there. It's always a disappointment. But the few times that it's really, you know, had its feet underneath it, it's a cool setting, there are cool models, they're imaginative. It's one of the few settings that really matches, like, Warhammer 40k as far as just sheer balls-to-the-wall kind of excitement and imagination. Not that I think 40k is particularly original, that's a completely different conversation, but, you know, it has its own unique style that definitely attracts people to it, and I think Mutant Chronicles has that same thing. And the whole concept of the dark symmetry has always amused me. Wait, ye finally got some what? Oh, some Conquest. Did he actually order some? Oh, wait, yeah, no, I guess he ordered some of the Dweghom on eBay, didn't he? He was talking about that earlier, and I just remembered that it happened. I thought maybe I dreamed that. I don't know. Oof. Kicking the pants Night Watch games, but at the same time, you know. Nothing wagered. $15,000. What are Siocast machines looking like these days? Are they still up in the, like, between $30,000 and $50,000 range? Because, man, those getting more affordable is really going to change the marketplace quite a lot, I think. Oh, sewer creature. I'm still not quite through my tea yet, so don't mind me. And yeah, Riot Sister, I'm really glad to hear that worked out for you. It was that Thunderhead bump. It was all the kind things I said, definitely. I was just honest, that's all. Yeah, I think Ensio Res is one of those materials where it's like, me telling you about it isn't really going to sell you on it unless you really trust me. But having some of it in your hands, experiencing it, you're going to feel the benefits of it almost immediately. It's difficult to describe how nice it is until you've got some, and then it all starts to make sense. I, too, was quite skeptical until I got the chance to play around with some. I've seen trying painting it without primer. Supposedly you can do that. Yeah, we tested that. Where's the test mini? We did a test mini in ScioRes where we tried a few different methods, and yet even because this was unprimed, the bottom of it, this was unprimed, and like you can scrape the paint off, but not easily. It actually holds it really, really well. I was pretty impressed. Up here we were scraping it off when it had when it was primed, which required a blade, as it turned out. I'm experiencing an interesting phenomenon where I just lost all hearing in my left ear for no reason that I can determine. I guess my headphones could have died on the left, but... Actually, that is what happened. I thought it was my ears. That's very strange. Hope my headphones didn't just break. Test, test. Yeah, I can only hear my monitor in the left. It must be the headphones. It can't be the PC, because my microphone monitor just goes through my USB XLR interface. I have other headphones, but still, these ones have served me well for so long. It's always a shame to lose a good piece of equipment. It's very weird not being able to hear anything on the left side right now. It's like oddly disorienting to the point where I'm going to pull that off my left ear so that I don't feel like I'm going crazy. Get some pinning stuff so I can get cracking on this model. I'm curious which model as well.
Of coal gray. And as he pulled his stiff bristles out of my wet fluids, I yelled out, "No, Thunderhead! You need to thin that paint first!"
I miss when Chaotic Harmony used to stream more. You just don't see him on much anymore unless he's playing, that awful game that he and Alaric like so much. These are going to be the most hideous enforcers in the history of Deadzone. That's probably not true. There are probably worse looking enforcer models out there. Oh, what's it called? Does anyone remember what that game is called that Alaric and Chaotic have been playing lately? It's like... It's got a simple one-word name. It's like a war simulator. Yeah, Foxhole. There we go. Thank you. I tried playing it and I just hated it so much. It was just immediately off-putting. I mean, you know, it has a good player base. It's probably a perfectly fine game. It's just not a game that I want to play. Yeah, it's too, like, I respect the idea of Foxhole. The notion that the players fulfill all the jobs in the war, but it's like, hooray, making and transporting ammunition simulator. Like, is that fun? Is that a good time? I might have found that fun years ago, but not so much anymore. And then I watch them play it, and they wind up just like the most fun I've seen Caddick having in that game is when he was manning like an artillery position, and it's like, I guess it's cool, you know, like other people are spotting and you're responding and you're adjusting your fire based on the spotters, but it's like functionally what you're doing is just standing in one spot and hitting a button over and over and occasionally moving the mouse. And then running if people tell you to run. Jack, thank you so much for hanging out today, dude. It's always good to see you in chat. I hope that we're able to turn Conquest around in your area, buddy, because that's some bullshit. I would definitely contact Parabellum and let them know about that, though, because if they've got Vanguards that are turning people off the game, that's something that they, as a corporate entity, need to know about. Oh my god, I just missed something. Gray Mail, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the Storm Chasers. We're just having a nice little short one today. Nothing major. We're going for about another 20 minutes, and I'm just kind of working out my scheme for these LexCorp enforcers. I think they'll punch up a little bit when I add some more yellow to them. Like, I'll come in and do the eyes by hand. Oh, I haven't seen it yet. Hang on. I want to see. Yeah, it's a little better than the first one. They're gonna look particularly awful altogether, and I'm like so into it. Yeah, the first few are always gonna go a little bit slower too, Dwegham. I just accept that because I'm figuring out like where do I want to put each one, and then you can kind of speed up as you go. All right, let me see this here, Riot Sister. Nice salamander. How you doing, Desert Owl? Ooh. That opened in the wrong window for some reason. Let me see if I can fix that. There we go. And then I should just be able to real quick go wham and have it not appear. I tested this before the stream and told me it was going to work. There we go. I am such a pro streamer, it actually hurt. Damn, that is cool. It's got the frilly gills going on. And then a couple of antlers? Rocking some jewelry, casting some sort of water spell down here. This is a really, really cool mini. Yeah, the axolotl with the crazy, like, external... Those are gills, aren't they? Does it need that much pinning? If this is a resin print, like, unless it has some really big parts with tiny, narrow joints, I don't know if I would bother with pinning this, Rad Sister. If it has a good amount of surface contact between the joints, you should be able to get away with just scoring the joints and then gluing and not really worrying about it. I'll pin when I'm dealing with, like, metal models or big resin models that, and this is fairly large, to be fair, but if they have tiny joints and large, heavy pieces of resin on the end of those joints, then I would worry about it a little bit more. Need to pin its butt to the base, and the carp to the base, and then the pearl to the hand. I mean, okay. I will defer to your judgment, as you are the one with the model after all. What's up, Stilo Rebel? How we doing today? And yeah, I agree. This is sort of the right Lex Luthor green right here. Onward with the hideous enforcers that we're making for some reason. It's so weird. Just one side of my headphones just died all at once. I'm glad it's my headphones. For a second I thought I was like, am I about to, like, have a stroke, like, live on Twitch? Would that get me views? Yeah, we're just speed painting. I was watching the stream while I was patching servers at work, realized I hadn't followed yet. Oh, Greymail, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the stream. It's pretty chill. We work on a lot of stuff. We do a lot of different painting methods, and when I say we, I mean I. It's really just me. That's not entirely true. We share a lot of people's painting on here during the storm report, so it is kind of a we effort. Nino Ramirez, welcome to the stream. Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Storm Chasers. I hope you're having a good day. I'm having a mostly decent one myself. And yeah, for these, like, Mantic dudes, I'm all about the speed paints, because they're in the classification of model where I'm like, I just, I don't care that much. I just want them to be tabletop ready. So they're a good opportunity to experiment with the speed paints and figure out how advanced we can get with them. We've certainly learned, for instance, that you don't want to go too light with the speed paints, because you need to give them enough actual fluid to settle away from the raised portions and give themselves some shading. If you go too thin with them, then they just sort of glaze on. Which is not what we're looking for. Oh, not quite, Steela. Give it a couple minutes. We'll get there. How you doing today, Steela? It seems early for you. What microphone did you wind up getting? Oh, shit, I didn't take that out. I'm so good at what I do. By the way, the giveaway stuff should all be going out early next week. I've been getting it kind of packaged up. I have all but, I think, 2 of the addresses that I need now. Thank you guys for your cooperation with that. We'll get those Dyson figures sent out here right quick. Pro streamer, indeed. Recently finished up Taskmaster from the Marvel United set. I like the Marvel United figures. They're adorable. Excited for the X-Men sets from the Kickstarter to show up soon. Graymail, we do a bit on this stream, a little section at the end of every stream called the Storm Report. We're going to be starting it in just about 13 minutes because we're just doing a short stream tonight. But if you felt like sharing some of your work with us, that would be the place to do it. And if anybody's interested in sharing their work with the stream, go ahead and hop over onto the Thunderhead Studio Discord, which you can access via a button below chat or by hitting ! Discord in chat. Find the channel marked The Storm Report, and go ahead and throw a picture up there. Give the rules a quick read first, just so you know. Just so you know what they are. And go ahead and post up a picture. We'll show it here on the stream, and if you'd like some commentary, we can give that. You know, if you just want to show off, that's fine too. God, I'm kind of tired today. I did a lot of painting yesterday. Oh, I'm sorry, Roland. Hell yeah, Deadzone. I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'm upgrading my own forces, not all my forces up to full Firefight size. The Enforcers are an example of one that I'm not yet going to upgrade to a Firefight-sized force, but my Forge Fathers, my Veermen, and I am going in on Asterians for Firefight as well. What's up, Vergataron? Good to see you, man. Oh, shit. That sucks, Roland. At least, you know, bright side, you got something to look forward to in October. Absence makes the heart grow fonder and all that. Which is really just a platitude to try and feel better about something that sucks, admittedly. They announced Spelljammer. Oh, really? I do apologize if I'm a little low energy today, guys. It has been a busy last few days, and I've got more ahead of me, so I'm just kind of... I think I got this green pretty well sorted as far as where I want it to be for these guys, though. Took 3 models to get it just so, but that's not a bad return. just sound chill. I'm usually not chill, though. I'm usually, like, violently upset about something. I don't think it's good for my brand to be so chill. I'll tell you what I want to talk about. I want to talk about the Batman, but I'm not going to talk about the Batman because I want people to watch the Batman. And that's the kind of movie where it can be spoiled. Huge portions of the movie can definitely be spoiled, and I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to do it. New WoW expansions. Is there really? People are still playing World of Warcraft? Okay. What is the new WoW expansion? What are they doing this time? Dagrons. There are already dragons in the game, though. Dragons and drakes, for that matter. Oh, a dragon race. Oh. I don't think I have any give a fuck left in me for any Warcraft property at this point. It's just not there, even if I try. Which is kind of disappointing, because, man, I was so into... From Warcraft 2... Hell, from Warcraft 1, Orcs and Humans, I played the shit out of that game. Back in the day. I remember when Warcraft 2, Tides of Darkness came out, I was all about it. Warcraft 3, I was hook, line, and sinker. That game was great. Expansion pack introduced the Blood Elves. I was into it. I played World of Warcraft through Burning Crusade. At a certain point, I just had to get the hell out, though. I guess I played it through the Northrend expansion before it started to feel like I was playing, like I was going to a job. You know? That was too much. Did you sort him round on that? Because I swear, like, I understand, because I get hung up on things like that too sometimes for my own reasons, and I get that Sumitha's a car guy, but, dude, the Batmobile was fucking awesome. I don't care if it's realistic or not. Is City of Heroes still a thing? I feel like City of Heroes shut down, didn't it? I'm pretty sure it did, like a while ago. DC Universe Online was a thing for a while, but I don't think anybody plays that anymore either. There you go. There's some in-universe logic. I'm loath to even come up with explanations like that, though, because I feel like if you're trying to come up with any explanation for the exposed engine on the Batmobile besides it looks fucking awesome, like, you're having the wrong argument. If you need more explanation than that, I feel like you're maybe watching the wrong movie. I mean, I would argue that the whole car chase scene doesn't actually make any sense. But I still enjoy it, you know? Sergeant Will Kilmeny. Yeah, that makes sense to me, Riot Sister. It's the same logic behind, like... Because, okay, you want to get technical and start talking about fictional things. Imperial Star Destroyers are stupid because they can't shoot backwards. And that's the exact same explanation. Imperial Star Destroyers are never running away. You're always running from them. You know? Hopefully it wasn't like an expensive and carefully painted one, Stig. You are the one who named the dog Loki. I feel like you brought this on yourself. I've known many dogs named Loki over the years for whatever reason. And every single one of them seemed to take that as permission. Merlin, how you doing, man? It's good to see you. Merlin Models, welcome in. We got that shout out, Riot Sister. Thank you so much. Merlin, how you doing, man? What are you up to? We're having a kind of a chill, short night here. We're going to be going to the storm report in just a couple of minutes. Dwegham, that's true to a degree, but if you look at the surfaces of the Star Destroyer, because the primary turbo lasers, the turbo laser batteries on a Star Destroyer are positioned, like there's a bunch of them, smaller turbo laser batteries, but the primary heavy turbo lasers are positioned in 2 rows going down either side of the central spine on the ventral surface. And the ventral and dorsal surfaces both not only slope inwards on the X, I guess that you can arbitrarily pick it, but on the X-axis, but also on the Z-axis, they slope downwards in towards that point. So really, those ventrally mounted turbo lasers, they can fire backwards technically, but there's a huge diamond-shaped cone behind the Star Destroyer where none of the turrets can legitimately fire. And you could call it a design flaw, or you could call it, you know, world building. I prefer world building. But similarly, I don't give a shit that the engine on the Batmobile is exposed, because it looks fucking cool. And as I said, if I were going to get into an argument with somebody about that scene, it would be about the fact that there was no reason for the car chase to happen in the first place. But it's fine. That scene was pure rule of cool, and it was quite cool, so it gets a pass. Be that as it may, there's literally no reason to design the Star Destroyer that, like, you can say it would have support craft, but even if it would have support craft, there's no good reason to make it incapable of defending itself from the rear, when a change to the overall shape would permit it to do so. But that profile of the Star Destroyer gives it that very aggressive look, because all of the batteries can fire completely forward. Every single battery on the ship can fire forward, because that's where the enemy should be. And yeah, who the hell is going to be chasing a Star Destroyer, exactly? It's a ship that was purpose-built for the Galactic Empire. Well, yeah, but I think it's hard to argue that heavy turbo laser batteries would be less effective than squadrons of TIE fighters. I mean, it's good that you accept being a contrarian asshole, Datron. Ever played Battlefront 2, the good one, not the thinly veiled casino? A friend of mine once asked where I found a trench in that game, when you can get under the Star Destroyer's guns by flying between those decorative eaves on the sides and hugging the hull, because aerodynamics don't exist in space and I didn't have to worry about ground effects. So in a lot of the, like, cross-sections of the ships for the EU, Stig, those trenches you're talking about, actually have small turbo laser batteries in them. And in many of the movies, you can see shots, like turbo laser shots, coming from underneath those decorative eaves. So that's, you know, that's a disconnect between game designers and lore writers and whoever the hell makes the, like, incredible cross sections. I missed it, Merlin Models. I'm sorry. Would you mind repeating it? Just because I'm not sure how far up it is. Touch up a bit more of the green. Gonna be paying for 4 mechs to be printed in resin for 20 pounds. That's not terrible. Which mechs are you getting done? God, these enforcers really are just hideous. Absolutely hideous, and I love it. Total. I would assume that's total and not individual. If you're paying 20 pounds each, that's a lot. If you're paying 20 pounds total, okay. 20 quid for 4 mechs. I don't know if I had any more thoughts on the speed paints. So far, I like them. I have not had the issues that others have reported with them reactivating so far. And I've done multiple layers of them, Stila. So they're good. They've got some pretty nice vibrant colors. I think importantly they mix well. I've been able to mix some of my acrylic inks into them to modify the color slightly. They mix with each other well enough. I'm able to do ridiculous paint schemes like this by just fucking with a model for a few minutes and have this look good. Like, this is good enough. This is good enough at tabletop distance. For playing a few games at Deadzone with some, you know, LexCorp enforcers, this is just fine. I'll come in and I'll do a few more details on them, like I want to add some yellows in there and I want to do the eyes, but what was the other paint I mixed with today? So I have a bunch of these, and I use these for airbrushing primarily, because these are fucking amazing through an airbrush. But these are Dr. P.H. Martin's Spectralite Private Collection Liquid Acrylics. They are heavily pigmented, like really high in pigment, extremely vibrant, and almost completely transparent. But they dry a little glossy, which has been kind of the only negative to them, so you kind of got to mix it with something. But I'm finding that, and I want to try this also when I get the mega set that has the speed paint medium in it. A few drops of this in the speed paint medium will probably just turn this into a nice... We'll probably just matte this out for drying purposes. But I put a little bit of this in with the Hive Dweller purple, and I got this purple that we have on the Lexosquad here, which is just a little bit more... a little bit nicer than the other purple. And I recommend also with these guys, I think that the best combination, the best way to do these speed paints is to combine the use of speed paints with a light dry brushing. Because there's almost no, like, it's just so easy to do. Once your speed paint cures, just come in with a dry brush and kind of hit a few of the corners and a few of the edges just to punch up the highlights a little bit, and it goes a long way. That's what I did on my Forge Fathers, and I think they look pretty damn good for the time invested. But we're going to keep working with the speed paints. We're going to keep trying new things. We're going to keep seeing how good we can get them to look with a minimum amount of effort. We did 3 of our little Lexosquad enforcers tonight, and they look just gaudy and hideous in exactly the way that I wanted them to. Oh, thank God. Oh, praise be O Coral is here, folks. Now we can start the storm report. How about that? Oh, but 3 tonight after all the shit I've been through today ain't half bad. And I have confirmed this is the scheme I want to use on the rest of them, so... I feel like I've heard that number before, Merlin, but I don't remember what sets that one apart. There are a lot of specialist variations of basically every
I
mech
suppose
out there.
you could just go ahead and glorb that paint on anywhere. It's not like we're trying to get inside the lines or anything.
We're not. Oh, we're not. Alright, let me see here.
Here at Thunderhead Studios, it's okay to be sloppy. Bonus points if it's white paint.
God, that's such a terrible joke.
All right, locusts and gentle mechs, get ready to feast your eyes on glorb paint and wet palettes with the occasional culinary atrocity thrown in on tonight's Storm Report, brought to you by viewers like you.
Thank you for saying so, by the way. Deadzone podcast. Because I'm going to be using them for Deadzone specifically. Again, I don't know that I'm going to upgrade my enforcers to Firefight size. It depends on how much Firefight I play. Because I'm going to have for Firefight Forge Fathers, Veermin, GCPS, and Asterians. Now, Deadzone podcast, answer a question for me real quick. Because you are probably the person in here who knows the most about the Warpath lore. Yadao. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you, man. Keep checking. Yeah, these headphones are dead. That sucks. Also, Stila, I probably missed your answer, and I apologize. I was asking which microphone you got. And it might be relevant because this pair of headphones that came with that microphone I recommended to you just died. Now, in fairness, I've been streaming using these for like a year and a half solid, and it took this long for one half of them to go out. So, you know, and the headphones aren't... They're more of a bonus than really what you're buying with that set. But Deadzone podcast, I wanted to ask, and I know that you get the Blue Yeti Nano. Okay, you know, with like the USB and stuff. Because yeah, I like my XLR interface. I like my XLR microphone, but it's not necessary. I got it because I wanted to have really good audio quality. Blue Yetis are nice, from what I've seen. Nightwatch Games, I'll do what I can, man. I always do what I can. Always fantastic to see you in chat, and I'll get back to you on PM on Facebook about what we were talking about. So, it's my understanding that the Warpath universe lore is not, like, super well developed. Like, they've been adding bits to it over time, but it's not, like, you know, kind of developing as each game comes out and with each edition. But my question for you, Deadzone podcast, is what is the nature of the GCPS relative to the Enforcers? Because they're both human. They are the human factions of the universe. And I know that the Enforcers are like the top-notch corporate goon squads. But the GCPS, are they also corporate? Are they government? What is their deal? Because I realize I don't know, and I'm trying to come up with a paint scheme for them. Scoot these guys out of the way here and go ahead and get started. Have I messed with the Logitech G? I hate G-Hub. Personally, Riot Sister, I have never been able to make it work for me. GCPS is the army that is sold and used by multiple corporations, in short. So they're still corporate. They're not government. They're essentially like low-rent enforcers that are sort of from a shared pool from all the corporations. So the GCPS would not necessarily have like the colors and logos of a specific corporation. They would be like their own unit, and then they would be rented out on a contractual basis. So like PMCs. Okay. Yeah, so the Enforcers are not necessarily beholden to a specific corporation, but yeah, more to the ruling council of corporations, which in my headcanon, obviously the descendant of Lex Luthor is a big part of. Logitech is called Logicool in Japan. It's neither logical nor cool. That's awful. The Council of Seven, yeah. Okay. Alright. I'll probably do something a little less gaudy for my GCPS then. I was thinking blue. I don't know why. I just kind of like, you know, blue armor. Makes me think of like the UN. Alright, here we have from DFW Dwegham. Pick of some of the models where I clicked on it first. I should have read this because I feel like I just ruined the joke. Picture some of the models I've been working on for the last bit. Put some color notes on it, so I'll let the picture speak for itself, and then it's... yeah. it's this. I'm really hungry right now, too. Why does it have to be the first post? Why does it have to be the first post? Dwegham. Sort of lemon taste? It does sound good. Novacorp is blue. Okay. Is there any... Where would I find any information on that? Like, where is the lore for Warpath held currently? Is it in, like, the Warpath source books that they released as part of that Kickstarter? And do we know if there's going to be, like, a lore section in the new Firefight book that's coming out? Because it's a little sparse in most of the other books, which I'm fine with, honestly. You don't need much. I always feel like too much story in a wargaming setting is kind of a detriment. But some is certainly appreciated. Here we have from Ren Momo. The only thing I know for real, there will be bloodshed. The man in the mirror nods his head. The only... Oh my god, these are song lyrics and I don't know the song. I'm like, hold on. Hold on, these are structured like lyrics, but I don't know the tune. More music plays. I don't know what the first music was. You know what? It sounds like a badass song, Ren. It's from Metal Gear Rising Revenge. Okay, that explains why I don't know what it is. I'll tell you that, Roland, Speedpaints are the only reason I feel confident playing GCPS. The only reason at all. I still gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with their Strider. War Wolf. 2 months. Thank you so much for that Prime sub, my friend. Oh my god. Thank you for your support. Thank you for hanging out. More than anything, though. I appreciate you guys' subs. More than anything, I appreciate seeing you in chat. I always love talking to you. I love seeing what you're working on. Old Jetstream Sam. Let's have a look at him. Why do I recognize these? All of these models simultaneously look familiar, and also I can't place them. There is lore in the new book. The best book for lore is the source book from the Warpath set. I figured that was probably going to be the case. If you have that and you are willing to send it to me, Deadzone Podcast, I would love that. If you could hit me up on Discord, I'd absolutely love to give it a read, because Warpath still technically exists. I remember when it got kickstarted, and it never really took off where I was. I don't feel like it was particularly well balanced, but I feel like Firefight is, you know, it's a second attempt at really, because the concept behind Warpath was like playing epic 40K but with 28mm models, and it always struck me as crazy because the size of the board you would need to make that make sense or be balanced is just unrealistic. I feel like Firefight is like the perfect balance point that's going to bring a lot more people into the system. Thank you, Deadzone. Warwolf, you are absolutely too kind. Kings of War, but sci-fi. Yeah, and it's like, I respect the concept, but it's also fundamentally flawed in several ways that I think became apparent after it came out. Ren, I need you to tell me what these models are. Because I'm staring at them and I'm like, they look familiar. The designs look familiar to me, but I cannot place them. And it's going to drive me absolutely insane if you don't tell me. Sky Shards, The Arrival, Bushido mechs. Oh, yeah, I was thinking that too, Gimishkar. They look like Clicky Tech, but I guess they're not. I am not familiar with this at all, but I'm curious about it. I like the very earthy paint scheme you've gone with on there, Ren. Keep up the good work. Here we have from Rio Hassenpfeffer, The Day the Earth Stood Sus. Oh, yeah. This happened. I came back after... Okay, so, you know, the story here is there is a... On the Discord, there is someone named Blunderthud. That is certainly not just another account of mine that I intend to use for what I was talking about earlier, that being streaming 2 screens at once to Discord. Certainly not that. But I mentioned this in general, and I come back a few minutes later, and Rio has... Can I just say that Siestinator Rio is an artist the caliber of which I feel like we... I don't want to use the phrase we don't deserve. That's bad phrasing. Siestanator Rio Hassan Pfeffer is the caliber of artist that I feel incredibly humbled by and incredibly grateful to have as part of the community, with a fantastic imagination, a playful personality, and just so much raw talent that it is staggering. I talk a lot of times about how some people in this world, and I'm in no way saying that Rio hasn't practiced a lot to become as good as they are, because we've watched Rio practice, but there's a certain amount of raw talent that's just inside of a person. And you got it, Rio. You've got it. You got that heart. You got that fire. You have la passion, as they say. Oh, did it not get in? The Deadzone podcast, did you not get the photo in? If it didn't get in time, I would say go ahead and do it anyway, and mods allow it. I'd love to see what he's posting. Yeah, if it's just okay. I will defer to my mods. But Rio, it was just such a stupid thing, and you hauled off with a post-it and made an incredible piece of art out of it, and I am floored by it. Absolutely floored. Let's keep going. Here we have from Mafik. Oh, do this just in. Request from Thunderhead himself, and here's what the Blizzard Hounds look like. Oh my god. This was a request from me. I wanted specifically this slime over here, with the somewhat horrifying snowman perched atop. But then we have an Arden slime, a character I now recognize. We have a cactus slime. He looks very happy down there. This cactus seems happy too. He must be absorbing moisture from the slime. We have a pirate slime that's wearing a cardboard camera on its head that I don't think works. Something tells me it doesn't work. And then, of course, we have the death slime of Krieg right up here with his very nice Kaiser helmet on. The snowman looks like he's eaten someone. Yeah, he looks distraught, does he not? And he has a pot on his head. I asked for this one. I was not expecting to get the rest of the team here, but I do love this one. And all the imagination that he must have, because again, I do not think that camera functions. I could be mistaken. And then yes, of course, here we have it. It appears that the character Arden has transitioned fully into slime mode. You bet it works. It defies all logic and reason. I mean, why the hell not then? These are wonderful. And yeah, this is the first time I've ever seen a Deathcore of Krieg Trooper and thought he's probably smiling under there. That adorable little smile that each and every one of the slimes have. I can't help but think of this. It's like he's got a flower stuck in his hair, but his hair is unfortunately a cactus. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mafik. These are fucking adorable. I hope these are going over in your channel too, because they're just the best. And what we have up next, and these are the... okay. Yeah, this is what the Blizzard Hounds look like. My god. The combination of, like, nightmare imagery with the two sets of eyes and the weird glowing central eye, and then there's just some slimes chilling on his back. This one has a knife in it, which makes me a little bit sad, but he appears to be fine. I mean, he's a slime after all. There is an absolute epidemic of slimes in these parts. This one seems to have acquired a helmet from somewhere. I like the tusks. Those are a nice touch. I've always had a thing for the... I like the two sets of eyes. Kind of reminds me of, like, the, some of the kaiju that Guillermo del Toro had in Pacific Rim. What happened to the soldier whose helmet he acquired, though? I'm very concerned for him. This way to the Ice Lake and the market, and that way to the Hound's Shack. Should we call a group of slimes a slick? A slick of slimes? I suppose it is important to have this nomenclature down. I don't know what exactly transpired to cause this one to wind up with a knife sticking out of its face, but he really doesn't seem to mind too much. I like the, like, explosive lances. This guy, it seems like this guy has an explosive lance, and this one just has a straight-up RPG. Either way, they seem pretty dangerous on patrol. Sometimes the soldiers just wear the slime helmets as a gag. Just put a slime on your head. Why the hell not? It's maybe my favorite shared feature of all of your art, Mafik, and thank you for giving us that. Abraham from Wheezy, I hope it's okay to share this here. My Instagram page is about to reach its 1-year mark. To celebrate, I want to paint a custom mini for one of my followers. If you want to check it out, you can find me at Battletech of the Day. Absolutely fine. I have no issue with that. We do have a place on the Discord for doing promotions and stuff like that, but I'm perfectly fine with this. Folks, definitely go check it out if you feel like getting in there and entering a painting competition with your battle mechs. I'm mostly okay with it because it's featuring my battle master down here, and I always love seeing. This is a great painted example too. You did such a great job on it. I still need to go back and adjust my Dugram sculpts. I need to make some changes and make them easier to print and make them available in multi-part. Maybe we'll do that next month. I gotta tell you, I just finished that terrain set, and it just has me in such a weird mode where I'm like, I finished a project. Now I gotta pick the next one and get started. But this wonderful little zone in the middle where I'm not expected to release anything is such a good feeling. Yeah, the elbows. I know, Desert Owl. They need to be bulked up and fixed, and I know how to do it. I just gotta do it. Let me tell you something. This left ear going wrong, it has me so thrown right now as far as how I usually hear myself. It is weird. It is astonishing how big an effect that can have. Okay. I was just seeing what the thread was there. But yeah, guys, go check out Battletech of the Day's Painted Mini giveaway. Get in there, check out the Instagram, always posting a lot of good stuff over there, and maybe win yourself a painted battle mech. Yeah, I'm gonna do them all in multi-part, Datron. I might as well at this point. I've worked out a good system for it. In sharp contrast to the cuteness of Mafik's entry, so I gave Hans the hand goat. I don't like this. The reason I can do it, Steeler Rebel, is because I have the monitor. I could not do this if I didn't have the XLR interface, which gives me the instantaneous monitor, and you can't monitor over USB. If you've got a USB microphone and you try to monitor your own voice, it's going to be delayed by like a fraction of a second. And try talking like that for more than like 5 to 10 seconds, and it will throw you off completely. With the direct monitor, though, I can hear my voice in real time, and that makes it possible. And that way I can also hear like all the sounds from the stream and everything like that. I'm delaying. I don't want to click on this. Hans the hand goat got a little upgrade. They're not just... It's not even like they're just, like, tendrils. They're like fingers. They have, like, joints and knuckles and nails and... What a sewer creature. I'm glad you're back. It is the hand goat. You're not wrong. Like, I get it, but that doesn't make me any more comfortable with it. I appreciate that he's rocking, like, the Baphomet with his hands there. In fact, he is in many ways evoking the Baphomet, which draws my interest. That you manage to, because so much of the detail here is just kind of implied by the nature of pixel art, and that's something that's fascinating to me about pixel art, is that the detail can't be there because it's just pixels. And so a lot of it is just the detail that your brain fills in when it sees the combination of, no, I see them. I see the hands here, and wrapped around. His ribs are, in fact, fingers. The only thing I can think of that would sell these hands better is if the hands were coming around and forming the ribs, and thumbs were coming up over the shoulder. Like, instead of more hands here, he just had 2 thumbs coming up over the shoulder. So that you would get, you know, this. Like, almost like they were a pair of wings that were folded around him. I just... Are you okay, sewer creature? Every time I see your art, I'm just like, it's like when I look at Clive Barker's art, and I'm just like, what goes on in that man's mind? I know the images that are in my mind that I try to translate out into the real world, and the fact that this is what you see in your mind's eye is that is perhaps more horrifying than the art itself. Yeah, let's go. Let's keep going. Sewer creature, thank you so much for traumatizing literally everybody here. Right next to the smaller shoulder hand, but hand wings are a cool... Yeah. I guess I could kind of see... Yeah, like there's a thumb there and a thumb there, right? And then these are the smaller hands. But I kind of like visually the idea of the hands then sort of unfolding into like a pair of wings. That's like some Guillermo del Toro shit. Here we have from Roland, still working on Trinity Tower. Wait, is this the same one that we saw, Roland? What has changed? What did I miss? What am I missing? I like the tan color that you went with on this. Actually makes it seem quite realistic. Yeah, I feel like we saw this one last time, Roland, because I was complimenting the way that you did the windows. They actually read really well at this distance. All in all, great work on the old Hextech Trinity Tower version 1. This is one of the first big buildings I made. Oh man, I've learned so much. And yet I'm still so very, very happy with the overall dimensions and shapes of this building. Wingers. I mean, you have to say it wingers. You have to do the hard G for Godarun to make sense of it. Can't let Mafik make this all too pleasant. Yeah, we get the... we get the warm fuzzies of the slimes, and then we have to consume what Sewer Creature is doing this week. At least it's not his horrible dryads eating people again. You have 2 more of them. You're doing a lot of towers, man. The red on the toaster is very clean. Yeah, and look at the light spot, right? The glare, the volumetric lighting on it. It's very realistic. Good catch, Kaylee. Well, shit, man. You do the rest of them to that standard, they're going to look fantastic, Roland. Here we have from the Happy Heretic. This submission for the Storm Report is my son's first foray into oil painting. Oh, exciting. He likes me to 3D print Gaslands bits and glue them onto his Hot Wheels so he can paint his Warhammer cars. Fair enough. Normally, I don't mind because he's actually listened to me somewhat as I tried to teach him good paint care. Tonight, though, he's managed to get into my oil paints and ended up dumping out most of my cadmium red hue. Oh, alizarin crimson and Van Dyke brown on the car. Managed to get most of it off. We've got something that's actually pretty cool. Gonna have to start hiding my oil paints. Also need a new wet palette. Oh no. I'm so sorry. Well, silver linings, right? First of all, it actually is kind of cool in that way that, like, it has a really nice random splattered effect to it that is strangely difficult to do without actually being random. I really like the way it has the alizarin crimson and everything has worked its way down into the crevices, and then you got it wiped off almost to the white here. It's very, very chaotic. I mean, yeah, hey, it works. It's a Gaslands car, so I feel like it fits the aesthetic. Plus, you can pretend like this is smeared blood up here. That works just fine, and on the tires for that matter. Add some spikes on the front of this bad boy, and it'll all look just right. Now, other part of this silver lining, Happy Heretic. You can just get rid of the rest of your cadmium red hue and get some proper cadmium red. Without feeling like you need to use up all that cadmium red hue, because I will tell you, from the moment that I got a proper, real cadmium red, I understood how weak the cadmium red hue was. It's you don't believe it. You don't believe it until you're using actual cadmium red, but it is a huge difference in vibrancy and in how it mixes with other pigments. So, you know, we're making lemonade here, so to speak. This lemonade just happens to look like it ran over a lemonade stand. Here we have from Nano to also... It is a shame about the Van Dyke Brown and the Alizarin Crimson. Those are fantastic colors that are incredibly useful. But, you know, we live and learn, and getting these lessons out of the way early, and oh my god, if at his age he actually starts painting with oils, he's going to be fucking amazing in a few years. Here we have from Nanotanks, here's a Corn Warrior for a Blood Bowl team I'm painting at the moment. Skin, boots, and red was done with AP Speed Paints. Did highlight the skin to brighten it a little. Still a little bit of the pastel effect of the contrast paints give, but overall it's not a bad result for 30 to 40 minutes. Not bad at all. For 30 to 40 minutes, this is a goddamn great result. The skin tone came out particularly good. And that blood red works shockingly well. I even like how the knee pads came out on this. This is an older Blood Bowl Mini, if I'm not mistaken. Because the new ones are all much, much larger, aren't they? I realize I don't actually know. I've never played Blood Bowl. I've never been particularly attracted to the sports-style minigames. Always aware of them. But I never paid much attention to the model lines. I'm always kind of surprised when a cool one comes along. Really nice job on the skin tones, though, and for being, 30 minutes of work with AP Speed Paints, I continue to be impressed by these paints, and I'm going to continue to use them for specifically when it's like, hey, I need to do 30 infantry, and they don't have to look amazing. Let's just knock them out. They can look pretty damn good for not much time invested. Not a GW model by some other company. Okay. It's a cool-looking model. And very nicely done. The skin tones came out great. And a bonus pick that's going to haunt my dreams. This little guy who was hanging out above our front door the other day. Do I have to click on this? What are the rules as far as that goes? Did I ever state that I have to click on every picture that gets into the storm report? Can we make a rule about not showing me spiders because I find them horrifying? I have a thing. I have a thing with spiders, and I appreciate you sharing the majesty of life, the rich tapestry of creation with us. But I'm just gonna do this. My middle finger is gonna move, and oh, there it goes. It's gone now, and we don't ever have to think about it ever again. Here we have from Deadzone Podcast, working on them Forge Fathers. This is a nice scheme. This is a nice... I didn't say that, Sewer Creek. No, I... Fuck. This is a lovely scheme, though. Green and gold always go well together, and I really like how you've used the yellow to pick out these particular details. Like, because the Forge Father's helmet can all get a little muddled if you don't separate out some of the pieces with color. And I think picking out the brow and that central, like the little Mandalorian slash... like Corinthian T, like that, and then picking out the cheeks, that's a great move. I did the same on my Forge Fathers with, I did like a metallic silver, and then the orange leading up to it, and the sort of Roman-style cheek plates. But this came out really well, and then picking out the belt, I think, is also an important move, just to break them kind of in half, because they don't have the usual profile of a lot of humanoid models. Because they're dwarves, they wind up kind of blocky and squarish. And I think putting that single line of color across their midsection does a whole lot for the models. And then, of course, the backpack and the weapon. Very nice looking Forge Fathers. This is a great scheme that I think is going to look particularly good on some of their larger units. I struggled to come up with a scheme for the Forge Fathers until I decided to just go with the Home Depot orange, and I actually think that works pretty well. I might want to do some more with the more advanced figures, like when I do HQs and stuff, but nice edge highlighting on this guy too, Deadzone. Now, how many teams do you have? Out of curiosity, Deadzone, because you're the Deadzone podcast, I'd imagine you have multiple Deadzone teams. So I'm curious about two things. Number one being, how many teams do you have for Deadzone? And number two being, how many of those do you intend to upgrade for Firefight to fully fledged forces. Here we have from Shiny Mew Paints. Painted a Smurf for lulz. Took the critiques from Thunderhead, applied it to this model. Hopefully it looks halfway decent. Also, thank you for being such an amazing community. It's so much fun just to share my heart with you guys and get such awesome feedback. Cheers, y'all. Shiny Mew, I am so happy. I'm so happy to hear that you take that much from interacting with this community, because this is by far the best thing that has come from this stream, is that we have so many people who are all supportive of one another's efforts, sharing techniques, sharing methods, sharing critique. It's like I said, when you just go online and you jump into like a random Discord or onto a subreddit, or you go onto Instagram and you put yourself out there and you share your art, it's so hard to not just get noticed, not just get praised. It's hard to even get proper criticism that isn't kinda condescending. Not always, but a lot of the time it is. And it's I think I remember seeing someone write on a subreddit one time, fairly recently, that post up your work, what's the worst thing that could happen? Someone will say that it sucks. And I had to remark, well, no, that's not actually the worst thing that can happen. The worst thing that can happen is literally nobody even votes on it or says a damn word. And 99% of the time, that's what's going to happen. Unless you're doing the model of the month, unless you're doing a meme, unless you're already an amazing painter doing something absolutely incredible, or unless you just get lucky. And I try to give people an opportunity and a platform to just have someone put eyes on their work and give an honest and supportive assessment. I think that is maybe the most important thing that I can do. So to hear that you're taking something from that is incredibly gratifying. And thank you for sharing your work with us. Loosely based on Iron-Blooded Orphans. Oh, hold on. It's loosely based on Iron-Blooded Orphans. All of them, well, not Rebs. It's the other guy from the podcast. They're part of my 600-point learning list. Oh, okay. Now, here's a question. There's the... And I'll address this in a moment, Mew, pardon. What's the faction that's like the Stygian horrors from Beyond Space? There's a faction in Deadzone that are like horrible deep space, like crazy alien aliens. Yeah, the Nameless. Do we know if they're getting upgraded for Firefight, or are they going to stay in Deadzone? Does anybody know? Because I love the idea of them. The blue is nice, deep, and rich. You've done good work on the gold. Really, as far as, like, it looks like you have, at the very least, applied a good strong wash to kind of pick out the individual details that we have here on the gold. These shoulder pads are a great opportunity to practice brush control, because you can see you got a little bit of the gold over onto the blue, and these are a really, really good opportunity to come over with the blue and just do a few clean swipes to clean it up to that edge. But it looks like, see what you've done down here is you've done a good dark line to sort of cover up that. I would continue that all the way around, because having a nice deep shadow around this edge on Space Marines always helps. I love the silver on the bolter. It's lighter than a lot of people go, but I think it works well. Good use of a wash on that. All in all, this is a nice looking figure. I think that if I were to pick out anything you should work on right now, Shiny Mew, based on the work I've seen from you, and this is always what I try to do for people, just brush control. Honestly. Just working on being a little bit more precise with where your brush is going at any given time. No, I don't know how you paint, as far as like how your hands are physically set up, but my recommendation is I like to form like a little A-frame with my arms. Have a table where you can put your elbows and actually rest them. Put your elbows on the desk, hold the mini in one hand, bring the heels of your palms together, like this. You see that? And then have your brush here and your mini here. And what this is going to do is make it so that you can actually manipulate where the tip of the brush is relative to the mini by moving either hand. And if you have problems with your hand shaking, you won't. Because if your hands are shaking like this, then the entire frame is going to be shaking. You can be very, very stable, and you can this is a great way to work on precise brush control. So I would say practice that, because the colors are looking great. After that, after you feel more confident with that, I mean, I feel like at that point it's just a matter of learning more advanced things like edge highlights, layering, stuff like that. But I wouldn't worry about that for now. I'd say just work on brush control, because if you do this exact color scheme, just how you've done, I mean, I don't know if you want to do more Ultramarines, you said you just did it for the lulz, but, whatever you work on next, using the same methods, they're going to look great. And if you can just clean up a little bit of the slop, it's just going to bring it together that much more. And as you've seen here, you can make up for some of that by just using washes in the crevices. Do more of this, because like this right here looks a little bit better than this right here. You see what I mean? So just do more of that. Just cheat it, man. Just cheat it. The gold is lovely, though, and such a nice, deep, rich blue. I love what you've done with the purity seal as well. Crocodile coming in. How you doing, Crocodile? How was your stream, man? I always try, Warwolf. I always try. I can't promise that my critique is always useful, but I do try to keep it honest. Here we have from Manix the Lamer. This is my first attempt with the Army Painter Speed Paints. Pulled this figure out of my shoebox. A shame. The fact that you only have a shoebox is staggering. Primed it with white Stynel Res, began slapping paint on it, very pleased with the result. This looks fucking great for Speed Paints. This looks pretty fucking excellent. For first time with Speed Paints, just going with a quick layer of Stynel Res, like, this is nice. This is real nice. I'm very impressed with them. I'm very impressed with Speed Paints still. They're not... I'm going to be continuing to use them, continuing to practice with them. So if it's something that you're doing and you want to gain the benefit of my experimentation with it, I mean, keep hanging out because, again, I've got a lot of figures coming to me from Mantic right now. Multiple Firefight teams that I'm upgrading from Deadzone with. And we're going to need to keep them going. So we're going to keep playing with these. I think the red on the shirt, like the black jeans, this is a nice touch and actually works really well for the kind of chalky effect that came out. It looks like sort of worn jeans. But this red that you got up here, this sort of earthen red for like the flannel undershirt, I don't know why. That's just what draws my eye the most. That works really, really well. Yeah, stonewash jeans. There we go. Alright, here we have from Grey Mail. Finished this guy up the other day. Painting and shading white is definitely different. Different, that's one way to put it. Yeah, it's different. It's different, like, you know, like when someone is, like, punching you in the neck, and you're like, oh, that's different. You know? Or someone comes up to you from behind and just grabs your underwear and tugs it right up into your crack, and you're like, oh, what a different feeling. Yeah. It's a lot like that. Had a bit of fun on the shield. Oh, this is lovely. Yeah, white has a lot of tricks to it. The one that I always tell people is if you're painting white, try not to use white. It's counterintuitive, but if you use very, very little white, that lets you actually get a lot of depth. Like, your white should be reserved for tiny spot highlights, and that just lets you have a lot of contrast and ironically more color in your white, which again gives it that depth. Awesome Deadzone podcast. Thank you so much. The shield looks wonderful, though. I love what you did here with the little central orange bit. The highlight here, both in the center and then along on the edge. This is that depth that I'm talking about. This very small area of orange has a lovely depth of color to it. The white looks good. It looks nice and clean. You got some good subtle shadows on it, which I think works really well for this style of figure. Very kind of cartoonish with the Marvel United stuff. With his just openly skeletal face in this version. I like what you've done with the pouches. This is a very, very clean effect and a good use of a warm color, kind of breaking up a big lot of cool colors we have in here. Nice work with the non-metallic metal that we have here on the buckle. This is actually very effective with the gradient and the edge. And you got in there and you did the eyes in a way that doesn't look goofy. Very impressive. Oddly drowsy at them. God, Crocodile, I feel you on that one, man. I'm fucking tired today, dude. Go get your pump on, baby. That's all true metallics? It's all true metallics, and I was just reading it as non-metallic? Well, okay. Then good job. I was fooled. Very nicely. Okay, no, I guess I can kind of see it when I look at the edge of the shield. I can see the metallic fleck. You've done really good panel lining, though, and pin washing all over it. And you got some blue metallic on there, too. Now that I see it, now I can't unsee it. Well, you know, here's the thing. You're already applying, from what I can see, because this isn't just a flat metallic you've done here, as far as I can tell. You do have an edge highlight on here, and you do have, I believe, a little bit of a gradient from a dark gunmetal up to a silver here. So you're already doing some of the techniques. Same here, which, if this is a metallic gold, unless this is flat, it looks like you've gone, yeah, because here you've gone with a darker shade here than up here. You're already doing many of the techniques that you're going to do with non-metallic metal. The only difference is you're going to push that contrast deeper and further when you make the transition. So keep doing this with your true metallic metals, and it will be rewarding when/if you decide to make the transition, because non-metallic metals are... You should do it if you want to, but I wouldn't consider it a requirement. Lovely figure, though, Grey Mail. And here we have our Merlin models, work in progress, trying to really push this assassin. Well, don't push him too far with a rifle like that. The mask needs work and the straps need tidying, but I'm very happy with how it's going. I want to be ready for the Warhammer Plus model Vindicator to arrive, because I would like to attempt a golden demon with it. Merlin models? You ambitious Welshman. I continue to, like, I know that we pointed this out before when we saw the work in progress on this the first time. And, like, I can tell where the work is in progress because, like, it's a little muddy compared to where it's so sharp, where you've really put in the focus. The stonework continues to be wonderful. I love what you've done with the rebar and the earth tone shading against the blue stone. This is a really good example of temperature contrast here. Like you see how the stone looks sort of more real, more vibrant. You can really see the blues in it, and I'm telling you, that's because there's this green brown here and this sort of warm tone up here and the warm tone on the rebar. Like, this is what so many of these colors are about: tricking the eye. It's about how your brain processes information and color, and doing little tricks like this really gonna just help you sort of hack into that color center of your brain. Lovely, lovely work, but not to focus too much on the column he's leaning against. Look at this rifle. That color is so nice. I like that a lot. I like that a lot, and I can't wait to see what you finish doing with the face here, because the red eye lenses are very curious. You've used other little bits of red in here, which work well again against the cool undersuit. I like the little purple tassel on his dagger there, but the red leather straps, the little gold skulls, and then we're going to have the red eye lenses. This will be the largest area of red, and if you bring that up real bright, it's going to make a nice focal point right here. Right here. I would inquire about the lenses, but I'm going to imagine you can't really see them all that much from almost any angle, particularly since this is going to be the golden angle and the lenses are all facing away. This rifle, though. Damn, Merlin. Damn, I want to see your Golden Demon entry. I mean, I trust we probably will. I'm just saying, I very much want to, but that's going to bring us to the end of tonight's Storm Report, and the end of tonight's fairly short and sweet stream. Short's good. Short's good. I still have shit to do tonight. I'm supposed to be driving across the mountains tomorrow, and my car isn't working right now, so I've got to go out and figure out what the fuck is going on with that. Oh, God. I spent all my time yesterday painting, and I didn't actually check on anything else. But we've established a good color scheme for these Lexosquad troopers, so I'm happy with that. I'm gonna go check on my travel arrangements, and then if all goes well, I'm gonna come back and maybe work on a few of these folks before I wind up turning in. Thank you so much for that, sewer creature. Positively splendid. Alright, let's see who's streaming. We're turning in kind of early tonight, so might be we can go to a good channel. Let me see who's doing what. And I'm not just going to trust the damn raid menu box this time, because that lied to me last time. Honest Fink, Mini Max, or Bongbarian Commander Mittens. Let's go ahead and raid into Commander Mittens. She is always a joy. And folks, if you're not following Commander Mittens yet, whether you're turning in for the night or not, stick around. Stick around for just a minute, because this is a stream you're going to want to check out. And whether you're going to stick around to watch or not, if you like what you see, consider dropping a follow, because Commander Mittens is one of the most talented. There are a lot of different types of painters on Twitch, and there are people who paint to like a really high level. She paints to a very achievable level that is still incredibly high quality, and does a lot of really effective but simple painting techniques. I feel like she's a good streamer to watch because there's a lot you can genuinely learn from her. Watching high-level streamers isn't always the most educational. High-level painters, rather, because it's just like, wow, look at what they can do. But she's like, you can see what she's doing, you can see why it works, and you can take those lessons home and apply them to the next figure that you're doing, which I really appreciate. Oh, the whole damn thing, Rockin' Robin. We were painting, you would have loved it. We've been painting Mantic Enforcers in Lex Luthor colors. I decided to do them like they're wearing Lexo suits. I'll be sure to share the results. We only did 3 of them tonight, and I've got a bunch more to go. So we're gonna be speed painting LexCorp troopers. That'll be a good time. Thank you so much for getting that shout out done. A huge thank you as always to everybody who joined us tonight. I'm running out of time, so I should say my bit. We're not streaming Sunday. Sorry about that. But Tuesday and Thursday of next week we'll be back. We'll be painting. A huge thank you as always to my mods. Folks, I will see you Tuesday. Until next time, keep on painting.